Well, this is one of those cases where the fan theories were completely right. Completely right, in fact. The Acolyte showrunner reveals scrapped plans for Darth Plagueis and Manny Jacinto's Sith Stranger. Do you remember when people were like, they're playing the Knights of Ren theme, or bits of it. He looks a lot like a Knight of Ren. Yeah, he was just going to become the first Knight of Ren. I don't understand how this makes that much sense, though, because that means the Knights of Ren have been around for ages. Also, did Kylo Ren know? Did he name himself after the Knights of Ren? I'm so confused. I know, like, Star Wars has just become a complete turd show. So maybe I'm just confused because of that. But this is kind of insane, isn't it? Anyway, I digress. Let's take a look at it. Let's see. Let's give it its due process. And you will see what I can see, that it is crap. So the Acolyte showrunner reveals all in a new art book. I can't imagine that's going to sell very well either, which is comical, to be fair. But anyway, so late August, we got word that Lucas from Disney had decided not to move forward with the second season of The Acolyte, despite several major storylines and character arcs being left unresolved by the end of the season 1 finale. So the announcement was met with a mixture of indifference and disappointment. Not really. It's like 12 people disappointed. But it soon became clear that a lot of Star Wars fans and some of the actors involved with the show were surprised by this development. Yes, but that's because they have a staggering lack of self-awareness. I mean, how on earth could you star in that show, having watched the show when it was released, and then be surprised that it didn't get a second season? Like, are you actually dumb? Staggering lack of self-awareness. But anyway, apparently people were like, oh, it's not coming back. Anyway. So the season concluded with Osha murdering Jedi Master Sol and embracing the dark side by joining with Khmer, the Stranger, as Darth Plagueis is revealed like a weird little creep. Did you see that? Do you remember that? We just sort of like crept around the corner. It's like, what are you doing? Where were you, you freak? So weird. Anyway. But he's the mysterious Sith Master behind Khmer's mission to bring down the Jedi Order. So that's standard. Anyway, new book, The Art of the Acolyte, which undoubtedly will just be flying off the shelves. People won't be able to keep it in stock. It'll just be absolutely monstrous sales figures for The Art of the Acolyte, guys. Mad, mad popularity. That's sarcasm. Obviously. Reveals what fate would have lay ahead for Khmer and his master had the story continued beyond a single season. Amazing that they're just dropping this stuff in these things now, because they're like, oh, well, whatever. It's definitely not coming back, so we might as well just put stuff in here. Who cares? So according to showrunner Leslie the Forehead Headland, Khmer would have become the first Knight of Ren. Fucking so lame. The Sith cult that Kylo Ren led and ultimately destroyed in the sequel trilogy. Oh, man. It was in the design of the character, as well as knowing what we're going to introduce Darth Plagueis. And knowing that we were going to introduce Darth Plagueis, who has to end up with Palpatine as his apprentice. Following the rule of two, a precept that limited the Sith to just two at any given time, a master and an apprentice. One way to keep it going is if the Stranger is the first Knight of Ren, part of a Sith-adjacent cult that we know eventually survives. What? So you don't murder the master anymore, you just, or your apprentice, you just send them away? I don't actually think that's how the rule of two works either, is it? Is it? I don't think it is. I think one of them is supposed to die. Anyway, so this was actually one of the many fan theories that did the rounds during the series, and would certainly have been an interesting way to connect the High Republic era to the sequel trilogy. No, it wouldn't. This article's raging cope. While also giving fans some more backstory on the Knights of Ren. Don't think anyone cares about the Knights of Ren. Don't think anyone cares, in fact. Do you remember this? Do you remember this? Fucking hell, mate. I really wanted to tell a story about the Sith, Headlands told EW. It's weird, isn't it, how leftists always relate to evil people. That's such an icon. Man, people are freaks. That was kind of my dream Star Wars idea, but it felt like the time period to do that in would be something pre-Phantom Menace. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, this is dumb. Doesn't that break canon? With the rule of two, isn't there supposed to be two, like one's supposed to die? Am I right or am I wrong? I might be wrong, but that is lame either way. So he was going to be the first Knight of Ren. Where did they get the name from? It was just going to be called... Who is it? Ren? Is he Ren? You're going to change his name to Ren? Why? What's the point? This is the problem with Star Wars, when you have no idea and you float from story to story and you're like, you know, it'd be cool, this would be cool. Let's do this would be wicked. And then it just doesn't make any sense. It's just drivel. Preposterous drivel. These people are paid tens of millions of dollars for garbage. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. I could pitch this kind of crap. I mean, it's not that difficult. Give me the money. I want the money. Anyway, whatever. Super lame. Like actually super lame. So there you go. Just thought we would cover that. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.